Exclusive. Liverpool may be open to selling a first-class powerhouse against Arne Slot's wishes. Mark Gui update puts Liverpool's transfer plans in the spotlight with a risky decision made. Alexander Isak nears Liverpool debut after fitness situation clarified. Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to your channel for news about the greatest club in the world. According to sources close to Empire of the Kop, Liverpool may be forced to consider offers for defender Ibrahima Konate as early as the January transfer window if a new contract cannot be finalized before next summer. Without a fresh deal, the club risks losing the player without receiving any financial compensation. While manager Arne Slot is determined to keep Konate, the board must balance the desire to retain their number 5 with the financial implications of a potential free departure. Even though the summer transfer window closed just a week ago, speculation over Konate's future at Anfield shows no signs of slowing down. Paul Joyce of The Times reported that negotiations to extend the player's contract, which is in its final year, remains stalled. Among the interested clubs, Real Madrid is seen as one of the frontrunners to sign him. The 26-year-old, during the international break, fueled rumors further by joking that his French national team colleague and Los Blancos star Kylian Mbappé was calling him every 2 hours to persuade him to move to the Bernabeu. Meanwhile, Anfield officials have been pushing hard to secure an extension, and Slot remains keen to keep the defender. However, the club must also consider the financial impact. Losing Konate for free would mean forgoing a potential transfer fee of around 50 million euros. 43.4 million pounds. In this context, a mid-season sale is not ruled out. Real Madrid continues to monitor the situation with interest from other clubs, including Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea, increasing the pressure on Liverpool. The chief scout of Los Blancos plans to travel to England to try to secure a deal, highlighting that the battle for the defender is far from over. After last season's drawn-out contract saga involving Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, Anfield fans can brace themselves for another he's in or he's out story with Konate in the coming months. Physically imposing at 1.93 meters, Konate is an elite defender when in top form. Former player Micah Richards has said he possesses all the tools to be a first-class center-back, pointing to his heroic goal-line clearance in France's recent victory over Ukraine as proof of his capability. Slot's desire to retain Konate intensified following the failed pursuit of Mark Gui on the final day of the transfer window, with Joyce reporting that Liverpool will not make another attempt to sign the Crystal Palace defender in January. Losing Konate mid-season would be particularly damaging. Therefore, it is understandable that the board might consider accepting a winter offer if contract negotiations stall, rather than risk losing the Frenchman for nothing next summer. Now all that remains is to wait and hope for a solution in the coming months of 2025. The decision will be critical for the club's future, as any delay could lead to a difficult choice at the start of the new year. Liverpool also attempted to strengthen their defense with the signing of Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace in a deal valued at £35 million. In the final days of the transfer window, the Reds dominated the headlines, particularly following the British record set by Alexander Isak's £125 million signing, concluding one of the most intense transfer sagas in recent years. Although an agreement was initially aligned with Crystal Palace, the Gahey transfer ultimately fell through. The Eagles were unable to secure a replacement before the deadline at 7 p.m. on the final Monday, causing the deal to collapse. Consequently, negotiations for the English defender have been marked by uncertainty and speculation, feeding the classic he's in or he's out scenario surrounding prominent England internationals. Gahey, now 25 and captain of Crystal Palace, will see his contract expire next summer, allowing him to negotiate freely with clubs outside England from January. Liverpool, aware of this situation, is reportedly considering strategic alternatives. A recent report from The Times indicates that the Reds do not plan to pursue the defender in January, preferring to wait until the following summer to attempt a free transfer, assuming both the club and the player still wish to make the move to Anfield. However, much can change over the next 12 months. By the summer of 2026, other clubs are likely to be in contention for the defender, making negotiations more competitive and complex. Additionally, there are uncertainties regarding Liverpool's current defensive options. Virgil van Dijk, at 35, will have just 1 year remaining on his contract by next summer, while Ibrahima Konate's contract also expires in the same period. Joe Gomez was heavily linked with a move away on the final day of the transfer window, and young talent Giovanni Leone, recently signed, has yet to make his first team debut. In this context, it would be sensible for Liverpool to strengthen the security of their defensive line. Guehi may have represented an ideal solution. Young, an England international, and experienced as a captain, he would have fit perfectly into the squad. Without the signing, the club will need to reconsider its defensive strategies for the future. If Guehi remains the priority target, Liverpool will need full confidence that a deal can be completed next summer. Even with such confidence, it is prudent for the board to already be considering alternatives should the Guehi transfer not materialize in 2026. These alternatives could involve at least 1 or 2 additional center-back options, ensuring that Liverpool's defense remains competitive, balanced, and prepared for the challenges of the upcoming seasons.
Liverpool fans eager to see Alexander Isak donning the red will have to exercise patience. The striker, who completed a British record £125 million transfer from Newcastle on deadline day, is not yet at full fitness. Sweden has provided an update regarding his integration into the squad during the current international break. Isak has not featured this season, having trained separately from Newcastle's first team while navigating his move to Merseyside. He also missed the entire preseason, leaving him with limited match sharpness ahead of his highly anticipated Liverpool debut. Despite the lack of game time, Isak was called up by Sweden's head coach, Jon Dahl Tomasson. After consultations with Liverpool manager Arne Slot and the medical teams on both sides, it was decided that his return would be managed with caution. Isak has only trained 3 times with the team, Tomasson explained to Viaplay after Sweden's recent fixture. No preseason with the squad, and of course, no match minutes. The risk of using him today is probably too high. Isak was included in the squad for Sweden's World Cup qualifier against Slovenia in Ljubljana, but remained on the bench during the 2-2 draw. Former Newcastle player Anthony Elanga started, partnering with Arsenal striker Victor Gyökeres and opening the scoring. Attention now turns to Sweden's second Group B fixture against Kosovo in Pristina, where Tomasson remains optimistic that Isak could play a key role, even if from the bench. "I hope so. I really do. He could be a game changer," said the former Blackburn coach. Liverpool will resume their Premier League campaign with a trip to Burnley, followed by a home fixture against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League and the eagerly awaited Merseyside derby against Everton. While Slot would like an additional attacking option, the primary focus remains on ensuring Isak's fitness is properly built before he takes to the pitch for the Reds. The £125 million signing will not be rushed, but anticipation is steadily building, with expectations high that his debut for Liverpool will come sooner rather than later, signaling an exciting new chapter in the club's attacking lineup. Thank you so much for watching until the end. See you next time!